Hello and welcome to this presentation where I'm going to share with you what I know about how you can turn your passion into profit. Now I call it a journey because it's actually a very exciting journey. It's almost like an adventure. And what I did in this diagram or this table is that I've divided the journey into 8 or 9 different steps. And the purpose of dividing into steps is that you can read the description here and you can determine where you are along the journey. Now there's no good or bad step. It's not because you're here at the beginning that you're not as good as the person who is over here. So there's no good or bad judgment. It's just that when we have different and discrete steps like this, then you can read the description and you can determine with a certain level of confidence, you can determine where you are, and then you can take a look at the next step so that you can focus your efforts on the next step. And another reason why I've divided the journey into these 9 steps is that so that you can see that it's really doable. This is really a progressive journey. It's not about somebody being unhappy in their current job and then suddenly deciding to quit the job and quote unquote join the circus. It's not radical like that. When you do something radical like that, you're very unlikely to succeed, because life is all about it's all about processes. It's all about respecting your own nature and proceeding in a natural, comfortable manner. So it all starts here where a person might be what I call a denier. Now once again, the denier or denial might sound like a negative word, but I don't mean it to be negative. It's just that the person here will deny the magic and the miracle of their being and of life in general. So they would tend to be very rational, very scientific, and they have a certain mindset. They've set their mind to think of life as it should be this way. There cannot be any other way. So they tend to be very rigid and they're not very flexible about how they approach and how they perceive reality. So what's going to happen, unfortunately, is that they're going to lose big time, and in the future they might have a lot of regrets and a lot of tears, because in the future they'll realize as they look back that there were so many opportunities to explore life, but because of their belief system they just didn't make any step in the right direction. And really nobody can help them until they show up at a learning event or some kind of social event where other people can influence them and can help them to relax their definition of reality and their insistence on things having to be a certain way. So they have to make the first step. Even family and friends cannot encourage them, because often friends and family will sense that they are very rigid and will not want to disturb them. And these people tend to be very they tend to be very stubborn. So they have to relax their definition of reality and they have to be open-minded. So once they open their mind, then they can maybe adopt a new belief. And the main belief that is relevant here is the belief that they have a passion and that a career based on passion is possible. It might not be probable. They might think that yeah, I have a talent doing this and that, but I don't think I can make a career out of it. But it's possible because I've seen other people do it. So this step is only about believing in the possibility. So here they might still retain their corporate job or a very safe, relatively safe job, but they have this belief that it's possible. It's just that maybe it's not for them, but it's possible because they've seen other people do it. The next step is when they actually begin exploring life in order to discover their passion. And this is done through joining associations or becoming a member of a club. Like it could be a hobby, a club of hobbyists. It could be enrolling in a school. Now the next step, assuming that they found their passion, so they know what their passion is, the next step is that they are consciously resisting doing it, and they will often be voicing quote unquote logical reasons like I'm not doing my hobby or my passion because it cannot be a career, so I just keep it on the side, or I do it on the evening or whenever I have time. So this is where they have to, and in fact this is a huge opportunity for them to work with a vibrational coach or a law of attraction coach, or teachers and workshop leaders who will help them to to unblock their own resistance. Because one thing you have to understand is that passion is always sustainable. Passion is always sustainable, meaning that if you have discovered your passion and you know what it is that you love to do, there is always a way to make money from it. There is always a way to receive people's support, resources, and all the equipment that you need in order to do your passion full time. But you just have to understand and believe that passion is always sustainable. So if you have a passion, it can be cooking, it can be singing, it could be anything, and you believe that it is not self-sustainable, it's a wrong belief. Passion, by definition, is sustainable. So that's the thing that they've got to understand. And then they move to the next step, where they actually start doing their passion every single day. So it has to be consistent. Now, it doesn't have to be every single day, but it could be every 2 days or every 3 days or once a week. But it's got to be consistent, because it is the consistency that will show to the universe that you are serious about doing your passion full time. And you've got to do your passion not because you think that it might lead to money. You do your passion out of unconditional self-love, in the sense that you do your passion because it gives you joy, period. There's no expectation of being paid money or making a career out of it. You just do your passion every single day, period. Next is where you decide to charge some money and get some clients. So you start to charge for it. But again, remember that you're doing your passion out of joy, and you just decide to charge for it because you realize that other people might feel good contributing to your passion-based career. So you just offer people the opportunity to contribute some financial support so that you can continue your passion. The next level is when you begin to break even. Break even means that there's no profit and there's no loss. So at least you're covering your costs of doing your passion. And usually you're attracting clients one at a time. So you might be giving private courses for learning how to play the guitar or stuff like that. So you're breaking even. And here, when you get to the next step, with the help of business consultants and maybe marketing specialists, you're actually making a profit from your passion-based activities. Making a profit means that you have a salary, and you actually cover all your costs and your expenses, and you're making a profit. So this is where you kind of begin to be a business, a legitimate business. And of course, the next step is it's quite logical. You with the help of scale-up consultants and technology people, you're able to become quite rich, or what I call millionaire, and you're making more and more profits for the foreseeable future, and then you can create jobs for other people to join your adventure. So that's the last step. So as you can see, these steps are very simple. The description is very simple. You know right away at which level you are. And again, please don't feel that because you're here that you're behind the person who is here. Everybody is on their own journey, and the way I explain it is that each step is like a city. So here it's like Barcelona, here is Paris, here is London, and you explore each city and you enjoy the city in which you find yourself. When you're in Barcelona, you don't complain about being there and not being in London. You just enjoy being in Barcelona. So that's exactly what it is. So you start with acknowledging that you might be a denier. You might deny the magic and the miracle of life. You might be a little bit too scientific. Now, it's understandable because the entire Western civilization is based on science and technology. But that's when you have to really question the authorities, especially the scientific authorities. Science is great, but the one thing that science is not so great at is examining its own methodology, examining its own assumptions. And therefore, science can only talk about things that are amenable to scientific treatment or analysis. Science cannot judge anything else outside of science. And there is a lot of magic, there are a lot of miracles outside of science, and you've got to be open to that. And then you become a believer, and then you actually do something, you explore life, and then you discover your passion, but you also discover within you a resistance to that passion. And that resistance often comes from your ego, which is super motivated by survival. Your ego is paranoia. It will resist anything new. And doing your passion is really new. It's radically new. So your ego will will wage a battle in order for you to abandon your passion. But if you win that battle or that argument, then you start to do your passion every day out of consistent self-love, and there's no money involved. You just do it for fun. And then, after you've become good at doing it, you start charging your clients some money, not a lot, but some money. And then, you charge a little bit more because you become more efficient, you provide more value. This is where you break even. And then you build a business out of it. This is where you make a profit, and then eventually you become very rich. So I know that this sounds very simplistic, and it's simplistic for a reason. I want you to treat this passion to profit journey as a very simple journey. And this can also be like a game or a discussion that you have among your friends. And let's say you're 3 friends at a coffee shop. You can say, hey John, I think you're at this level. And then Stephanie can realize she's at this level, and maybe Bob can realize he's at this level. So the people at the more advanced levels will be able to help the people who are at the quote-unquote lower levels. But once again, there's no lower or higher, there's no right or wrong. It's just a game. So the purpose of this diagram, which I created for you, is for you to treat life as a game. Treat your passion to profit journey as a game, like Monopoly, where you're trying to move to the next level. It's like a video game also. You're trying to move to the next level. But first of all, you have to be where you are. You have to know where you are. And second of all, you have to know what is the next step. So, this requires a lot of honesty. You have to be totally self-honest and read these descriptions and acknowledge, where are you? Because one thing I can guarantee you is that you're going to be somewhere in that diagram. It's not possible for you to be outside of that diagram. Either you're making a lot of money and you're super happy in what you're doing, in which case you've won the game of life. And remember, this is the only life you get. So you've won the game. You're a millionaire. You're a happy millionaire. Or you're not very happy at work. You might be making money, you might be making not a lot of money, but the thing is, you're not happy. If you're not happy, it means there's something that you're denying, and you have to be honest. And you don't have to wait until you're super depressed or until there's a medical crisis or some kind of severe illness before you realize that, hey, maybe life is much more than what I think it is. So you open your mind and you begin the process. You become a believer, a seeker, and then someone who is fighting against her own resistance, and then a doer. Earn some money, earn good money, earn a lot of money. So this is really, really simple. So anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you. I think that it would help you just to print out this one page and carry it with you, so that when you're commuting or when you're waiting in line, you can just pull this diagram out and you can think about where you are and you can move on to the next step. My intention in creating this diagram is really to help you to go from your passion to profit. So this diagram is not for people who are just looking for a job, because if you're looking for a job, then you have a skill set and you can go to a placement agency or headhunters and they will find a job for you. That's not really what this diagram is about, because most jobs have little to do with people's passion. Most jobs have to do with what you studied at university and your skill set. So if you have some professional experience and you have some education and you have a skill set, you will get a job. This is not what it's about. It's not about getting a job. When you get a job, there's no way you can profit. There's no way you can become rich. There's no way you can achieve financial freedom. This is all about passion. And this is a whole different discipline. This is not about your career. This is about your journey from passion to profit. There are tons of books out there giving people advice on how to structure and plan the career, but most of those books are really rational, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the rationality of your mind or your prestigious education or your skill set. I'm talking about your passion. I'm talking about the power, the unlimited power of your heart. I'm talking about self-love. Passion is really, like I said before, it's self-sustainable. If you discover your passion and you allow it to operate in your life, you will head toward profit, no problemo. The only question you got to ask yourself is, okay, now that I've discovered my passion, am I going to block it or am I going to express it? If you're going to express your passion, then you will get to profit very, very quickly. Why? Because profit is simply the flip side of passion. So think of passion and profit like two sides of the same coin. Can you have one side without having the other side? You can't. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a coin. So if you found your passion, profit is on the other side. But sometimes it takes time for you to turn the coin in order to get to the other side. But it's okay, because the process of turning the coin to get to the other side where you see profits, that can be a very enjoyable process. And that's exactly what this whole process is all about. When you go from deniers to believers and seekers all the way to millionaires, what you're simply doing is turning the coin, so that you see more of the profit, because after a while and you feel the passion within you. So you don't need to look at the face of the coin that shows passion. That you have it. You want the profit. And that's the major problem with so many people I know who have discovered their passion. And usually it's not that hard. They discovered their passion. They know what their passion is. They know what they love to do in life. They just don't know how to make money from it. So it just so happens that I'm a business consultant and a marketing expert, and I can show you how you can profit from your passion. I don't mean profit in a vague sense. I mean money. I mean cash. I mean lots of money, and you deserve it all. But you've got to embrace your passion. You've got to practice your passion. You've got to declare your passion to the world. Don't hide it. You've got to express the passion and share it with the world. And then the money will come. The profits will come. Your financial freedom will come. Your financial abundance will come. And you'll be able to take care of your whole family. You'll have an amazing life. Your dream life will become true. So anyways, that's the video I have for you today. I hope you enjoy it. If you have questions, please email me and I will be happy to answer all your questions. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. They will love you for it, and you will help them tremendously. So until my next video, take care of yourself, and talk to you soon.